Hi, my name is Kashton McCraken, and my project is over Urbanization in Rural Towns, a case study of West Columbia, Texas. So the development and commercialization of rural areas has increased drastically over the past few decades. So my goal in this project was to analyze and describe the changes in urbanization that can be seen through satellite data and the testimony of rural residents. The world is constantly changing around us, and these regions we once knew to be empty are turning into populated areas. So I want to know, are the effects of urbanization in rural communities recognizable from land cover data? So just some background information. What is urbanization? Urbanization is land cover and land use change due to a specific cause defined by buildings, roads, and human development elements. So what am I studying? I'm studying the changes to the physical geography and visual changes in satellite imagery. It contributes to NASA's land cover and land use change program. I'm addressing observations and data from ground land cover photos, and I compare them with Landsat satellite imagery. So this comparison is characterizing the land cover change and the land use change in areas of study. So what is my area of study? It is going to be the small ranch home in West Columbia, Texas. So what was my methodology? I collected my data from a multitude of different places. Google Earth's time-lapse satellite images let me see from 1984 to 2022 in the same place. It would time-lapse the images, and I could watch as the landscapes would change around me. I would use NASA's Worldview Earth data to look at cloud changes over years. I used Landsat Time Series Explorer to look how flora was influenced by the different years. I could see when droughts happened or whenever abundance of rain happened. I also use Globe and Globe Observer for my land cover photos to identify photos that may help me understand even more about what the area is like. So all of the photographs and satellite images that I've gathered, I've compiled into timelines, and I've compared the differences that are visible in the timelines. As you can see, the river is beginning to smooth out rather than be so rigid around the edges. And this is where you can see the difference in flora. So satellite images work very well, but they're not always accurate. This is an image from 2023, but it is not true. The buildings that are in this image were bulldozed several months ago. So a way to counteract this lack in data would be to hear testimony from someone who's witnessed this change happen before their very eyes.
My name is Russanne Smith. I grew up in West Columbia, Texas, on a ranch located next to the Brazos River. The river flooded many times, and every time it flooded, you could see a difference in the banks due to the sloughing of the sand. From 1965 to 1973, while I lived in Houston, Texas, an extravagant multi-million dollar community was developed right across the highway from the little ranch house I grew up in. Over 2,000 people now populate the community that was once swampland. After all the development in 2023, my childhood home was bulldozed. I have many memories with my sister in the front yard of our home, catching lightning bugs and watching the stars. The sky's not as bright as it once was because of the growth that West Columbia has seen. We had many pecan trees and oak trees. There was also moss in all the trees, and because of all the development, a lot of the trees and moss are gone.
So hearing these developments from this testimony, I want to further understand, when did these changes happen? When did the moss disappear? When did these communities pop up? So, in my conclusion, through analysis of satellite imagery over several decades and personal testimony from a local resident, I've concluded that land cover tools can be used to monitor urbanization in rural communities, but the lack of constant updates from satellites leads to inaccuracies in those monitorizations of these communities. So what's next? If I had an extended time frame, I would expand myself to the entire city of West Columbia, focusing on when these changes happened, when these communities were popping up, and when certain things were disappearing. So I want to give a thank you to all the sponsors who made Seas this year possible and allowed me to participate in it. And I also want to thank all of the mentors who were there for me whenever we were doing this. So thank you to Ms. Cassie Soeffing, Dr. Erika Podest, Andrew Clark, and the special help of Mr. Peder Nelson and Dr. Rusty Lowe, who helped me immensely. And finally, I want to thank Russanne Smith, who finally reached her dream of becoming a scientist at 74 years old.